All right. So my name is Michael DeLu, and I'm going to be your host today for Pull Up the Tape. With that being said, before I get into all the politics, I would like to ask two things of everyone watching or listening. If you are listening to this podcast via any of the platforms and apps that I distribute this podcast through, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, do me a favor and share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports. I know there's dummy people in your life. Everybody knows at least one person that loves sports in their lives. Share this podcast with that individual. Word of mouth is the best form of promotion, advertising, all that. So if you rock with me, even if you don't, share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports. And if you're watching this video on my YouTube channel, do me a favor, like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification. That's going to let you know every single time I am uploading a video, and I got more heat on the way. Let's try and get this video to 5 likes. If you're watching this video, just like it. I mean, it's going to do a lot for me. Like, I don't think 5 likes is a lot. I'm pretty sure at least 5 people will watch it. So just hit the like button. It only takes like 1 second, and it helps me tremendously in getting to where I'm trying to go. All right, baby steps. Feel me? You got to walk. You got to crawl before you can walk. All right, but with that being said, I'm going to get into the first politic of today's episode, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. So, well, not the Los Angeles Lakers, the Western Conference Finals. So, yesterday was the first game. Yesterday was game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, the 2020 Western Conference Finals, featuring the Los Angeles Lakers, whoop whoop, my home team, and the Denver Nuggets. Okay, so the Lakers won with a score of 126 to 114. And, from the outside looking in, a 12-point game doesn't look like, a 12-point, final score of 12 points doesn't look like was too much of a, you would assume it was somewhat of a close game, but in actuality, it wasn't. Denver kind of closed the gap when the Lakers pulled all their starters and were playing their bench. The score wasn't indicative of how much of a blowout this game truly was. At one point, the Lakers were up by 25 points. And I'm just going to go down the line and, discuss whose impact, what players and who had the greatest impact towards that 25-point lead. And I'm going to start off with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was talked about in the beginning of this playoff run as the X Factor because, this is the first time in a long time that he was going to be shouldered with the burden of producing every single night. And his play honestly determines whether or not his play is a very good indication of whether or not the Lakers are going to win. If he plays good, the Lakers are most likely going to win. If he plays subpar to average, the Lakers are probably going to lose. He is the X factor. He is also the biggest. How would I say this? He's the X factor as well as the biggest mismatch the Lakers have because he's so big, so strong, so fast, can shoot, can defend, can post up. He can do it all. Okay, so Anthony Davis went 12 for 21 from the field, had 15 rebounds, and he had 37 points. Okay, monster, 3 points away from 40. Okay. Bron had a pretty pedestrian game. Not pedestrian, but pedestrian points. He had 15 points with 12 assists. That's great. KCP had 18 points, and he went 3 from 5 from three-point range. So he shot 60% from 3 for the game. That was pretty good. And I want to give a big props to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had 13 points, but his defense is why he deserves to be discussed. Okay, one thing about Dwight that I want everybody to know, and I'm gonna be one to admit this. All right, so before the season started, when the Lakers signed Dwight, I was upset. I was just like, why did they sign his bum ass? This dude is a bum. Like, he's trash. He's garbage. X, Y, and Z. Like, he's washed up. He's not what he used to be. And rightfully so. Obviously, he's not what he used to be when what he was in Orlando, or even what he was on the first time he came to the Lakers. But, Dwight understood. Dwight wasn't signed until like a week or two before training camp. And he discussed it multiple times. And he realized, okay, damn, this might be really my last go around in the league, because it took a while before even any team was even willing to sign him. So he came into camp with the right mindset. He came into camp ready to work and ready to be the best teammate possible, and it showed in the last series when He played a total of 5 minutes in the entire series. But a report came out, not a report, but it was, during the flow of the game when they were reporting on this story, last series, even though he knew he wasn't going to play, the coaching staff said he still worked the hardest. He worked as if he worked and practiced as if he was going to play, kept himself involved, continued to watch tape and X, Y, and Z and do the right things and handle himself like the professional that he is. And they noticed that. And he did all this knowing damn well he wasn't going to play a lick. He played 5 minutes all of last series against Houston because of the small ball situation. And he played way more than that yesterday. Yesterday, he provided great energy off the bench. 13 points. He was catching lobs from Rondo, and most importantly, he was a body that we could put on Jokic. Okay, one of the main things that the Lakers have that the Clippers don't is athletic bigs that can actually slow down Jokic. I mean, obviously, you're not going to slow him down out because, obviously, yesterday he had 20-something points. Same thing with Jamal Murray. But if you could take away Jokic's ability to distribute and hand off these fancy dimes and just great cuts, all that, if you can clog up the passing lanes and make it difficult for him to also do something that's as integral to his game as passing, oh yeah, that's big time. I think at one point in the fourth quarter, Jokic only had 2 assists, I believe. At one point, I don't know how many assists he actually finished up with, but I want to give a big shout out to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard deserves a lot of praise and a lot of love for the way he played in Game 1. The bench played amazing as well. Kuz had 11. Like I said, Dwight Howard had 13. Rondo had 7 points and 9 assists. So the Lakers role players and bench showed up. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. It was a great game by the Lakers. Again, I just like the intensity and the energy they played with for the majority of the game, except for the first quarter. The first quarter they played horrible defensively. They let up, I think, 38 points in one quarter. That's not Los Angeles Lakers basketball. Okay, Lakers are one of the. I believe the Lakers finished top 3 in terms of defensive efficiency and rating in the regular season. I think they were amongst the top in the bubble. So the Lakers are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and don't see them having issues slowing down certain people. But yeah, obviously this series is far from over. The same thing happened to Denver last series against the Clippers. They got smacked Game 1, but the Lakers are not the Clippers. I do expect the Nuggets to respond with a sense of urgency. Going down 3-1 to the Lakers is not where you want to be. They went down 3-1 to the Jazz, went down 3-1 to the bum-ass Clippers, but going down 3-1 to the Lakers is not what you want to do. Okay, ask Portland about it. Ask the Rockets about it. The Lakers do they shit. Lakers are about their business, okay? So Game 2 is tomorrow on Sunday, and Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals is later today. So can't wait to get into that as well. I think I'm going to politic on that for a bit. I'm going to tell you guys who I think is going to win and et cetera, et cetera. But the next thing I want to get into is Chelsea FC. So Chelsea FC beat Brighton last Monday as they started this year's Premier League season campaign, okay? So they won 3-1. But the thing I want to get into, which is going to be a segue to my next point, is Leonardo Trossard's 54th minute goal. The reason why I'm going to discuss that is because it was just a terrible blunder by Kepa Arrizabalaga. So the shot actually, he had the chance to save it, but the shot actually went underneath his elbow, okay? And as soon as I saw that, I was just like, okay, here we go again. Okay, this dude, I don't know what exactly is up with this dude or what's the situation or what's going on, but here we go again. Here we go again. So Chelsea, Reece James ended up scoring the minute after a credible goal. That was the very first goal of his Champions League in his career not the Champions League, in the Premier League. And then we went on to score again with Kurt Zuma's header off the corner. So we won 3-1. But obviously, we could have kept the clean sheet, but we didn't because of Kepa's blunder. Okay, so with that being said, and Frank Lampard was asked about Kepa's performance, and he said, He's my keeper. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Shit, I didn't believe. So it's been reported that today that finally the Chelsea FC was able to ink in a 5-year deal for Edward Mendy, which is Rennes, a keeper. They reached a 5-year contract. For those of you guys who don't know, Chelsea have been trying to ink in this deal for quite some time, and they're trying to bring in competition for Kepa. It wasn't easy. I wish they would have been able to offload Kepa this offseason, but it didn't happen because his wages are just too damn high. For those of you guys who don't know, Kepa's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. Chelsea paid I think $88 million to sign for his signature last year. And I mean, honestly, that was a panic buy, and the reason why I say it was a panic, not last year, 2 years ago, we signed him in 2018. The reason why I say that was a panic buy is because of the whole Courtois situation, the way he snaked Chelsea, you bitch ass nigga, and Chelsea were forced to buy him because they needed a competent goalkeeper in goal, and they signed Kepa a week before the season started. I think that was one of the Mauricio Sarri signed him. So since then, I mean, Kepa's first season he was pretty good. The last season, his first season with Frank Lampard, yeah, suspect. Too many mistakes. And bro, you see me rip, bro. If you go to earlier episodes of Pull Up the Tape, you'll see me ripping Kepa. I don't give a fuck if I'm a Chelsea fan. Trash is trash, good is good. All right, I speak the truth. Trash is trash, good is good. If Brian plays like trash, I'm gonna call him out. If Kepa plays like trash, I'm gonna call him out. If Mason Mount plays like trash, I'm gonna call him out. If Gardner Minshew plays like trash, I'm gonna call him out. These are all my favorite teams: the Lakers, the Jaguars, and Chelsea. I don't give a fuck about none of that. If somebody plays like trash, I'm gonna call them out. That's what? Can't be biased or none of that. If you play like trash, you're gonna get called out. So don't play like trash, especially when you play for my team, bro. But anyways, so finally they've signed somebody to compete with him, and I know for a fact this dude is gonna take Kepa's spot and go easy. Kepa's a bum. Kepa is a bum. He's made too many horrible mistakes for me to consider him a good goalkeeper anymore. Too many. Just way too many. But anyways, about Rennes' former goalkeeper, Edward Mendy, he played 34 games in their 2019-2020 campaign, which resulted in Rennes qualifying for the Champions League for the first time in club history. So they're going to be in Champions League this upcoming season, and part of that is thanks to his incredible play. So I look forward to that happening. I can't wait till he's in the squad and competing with Kepa for the starting spot, because Willy Caballero isn't it. And hopefully they could get rid of Kepa sooner rather than later, because he just isn't it, honestly. I mean, and that's simply put. So I'm glad that Frank Lampard was able to get a replacement, get somebody in there to compete with Kepa, because like I said, Kepa's not it, and they need to get rid of him sooner than later. So the last thing I want to get into, we have a short podcast today, is college football. So today, 6 of the top 25 teams are in action later today. Number 11, Oklahoma State is taking on Tulsa. Number 13, Cincinnati is taking on Austin Peay. Number 25, Pittsburgh is taking on Syracuse. Number 7, Notre Dame is taking on USF. Clemson, number 1, is taking on Citadel. And number 17, Miami, the U, is taking on Louisville. So with that being said, first of all, I want to say, can we stop allowing teams to play trash-ass teams? That needs to stop, okay? Please, can we stop allowing that? Oh my God, I'm getting tired of this. Look, Cincinnati should not be playing Austin Peay, okay? That should not happen at all. That shouldn't be happening at all. Why are FBS schools allowed to schedule matches against FCS schools? What is the point of that? That has been my issue with college football since I started watching it. Started watching college football in 2005. They allow these Power 5 schools to play these trash-ass schools. The Citadel, and I understand it's for money, and these smaller schools get thrashed. They get paid a check to to get thrashed, but like honest to God, nobody really wants to see that. Like, but at the end of the first quarter, it's 35-0. Like, okay, I understand you're getting like, bro, what? Oh my God. So the games I'm looking forward to watching are obviously Notre Dame versus UCF and Miami versus Louisville. Miami versus Louisville is a primetime game. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching college football today. I'm not watching any of those other games that I talked about. There's only 6 teams in action from Power 5 top 25, and most of the time I'm not gonna watch most of those games. I'll probably be watching Premier League football. I'll probably be watching soccer all day today as well, and then later on in the day I'm watch Miami versus Louisville. Other than that, yeah, no, I can't do it. Can't sit there and waste my time watching bullshit. Shame on you, NCAA. But in other news, so it looks like the Big Ten is going to be coming back October 23rd or the 24th. I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping on the same for the Pac-12. I think they're gonna discuss later this week whether they're gonna bring it back or not. And yeah, so that's going to be all that I'm going to discuss about for college football. The last thing I want to talk about is the Eastern Conference Finals that's going to take place. Eastern Conference Game 3 that's going to take place later today. All right, so the Celtics are down 2-0. All right, and I'm not going to definitively say that they're down and out, but it's looking really bad for them, okay? If they don't win the next game, next 2 games, the series is over. I don't see them being able to come back 3-1, being down 3-1. Or being down, I don't see them being able to come back 3-0 or being down 3-1. That's not like that whole 3-1 situation. There's a reason why I think before this playoffs, only 13, it's either 8 or 13 teams have come back from being down 3-1. And the Nuggets just did it twice. So now it's 14 teams, but one team did it twice in one playoff series. Given that sentiment, like I at the end of the day, that's still not a situation you want to find yourself in. I'm telling you right now, it's not a situation. Obviously everybody knows it's not a situation you want to be in. But for the saving grace with the saving grace with the Celtics is this isn't a situation where the Celtics aren't. I feel like these teams are evenly matched. I mean, game was it game 1? Game 1 was the one that went to overtime, and Bam had that incredible block, I believe. And or was it game 2? Damn, I'm not even sure. Damn, that just shows you how bad my memory is. But I will say this. One, Kemba Walker needs to play better. Okay, that's like let's throw that out there. Kemba Walker, you need to play better. One, you're one of the best players you and Jason Tatum are the 2 best players on the team. He cannot be the only one showing up. You need to show up too. I don't want it to come to the point where we got to put out an APB for you. Like, come on, bro. I don't want it to be the point where we have to put out an APB for you. You get paid big bucks. You got over 100. Like, if you're a $100 million player, you need to be showing up in every single game, every single series. Your team needs to be able to rely on you. You need to be efficient. You need to show up. Straight up. He hasn't been that the first 2 games of the series. But both the first 2 games were close games. Okay? I will say that. First 2 games were close games. But at the end of the day, the Celtics should have won at least one of these games, okay? But I will say the Celtics do have a good chance of I personally think the Celtics do have a good chance of evening up the series. I mean, they just have to take it one game at a time. I do, and I'm saying right now, I do see them winning tonight. If they don't, the series is over. Straight up. There's nothing else to discuss or politic about. If they don't win the next game, series is obviously over. Like, they're not coming back down 3-0. They're for sure not coming back down 3-1. So they don't even up these next 2 games. I don't know what's gonna happen. Now, we do know what's gonna happen. The Lakers are gonna play Miami in the finals. It's crazy to think, but hey, it is what it is. So with that being said, that's gonna finish up today's show. My name is Michael DeLu. You have just been tuned in to Pull Up the Tape. For those of you who don't already, follow me on Instagram at Michael O. DeLu. Follow Pull Up the Tape at Pull Up the Tape. Follow Pull Up the Tape on Twitter. Support, like, share, comment, all this stuff. Y todo. Tap in. Soccer, football, basketball, MMA, whatever you need, I got you. All right? Keep coming. Keep fucking with me. Feel me? I'm going to feed the streets. Let's get it. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment, all that. Subscribe, like, comment, share.